the first thing is forgiving yourself, and you got to understand that, no one is perfect. It's not where you've been, it's where you are.
Yeah.
And if you can do something good in exchange for every single thing you've done wrong, then to me that's good enough.
Cesar Garcia, man, thanks for coming down. It's cool to finally connect. As Mikey knows, met Cesar at a Comic-Con, and I was like, man, I got to talk to this dude. So it's cool that we got it worked out.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
And 50 years old. Goodness. I'm 33. I look older than you. Goodness gracious.
All right? If we could all
I got good genes, lucky.
If we could all be that handsome. Right? We're going to jump into all over the place, but really, one of the things that you were very gracious when I met you at that Comic-Con, that you were filling me in really, the past gang life, and really kind of like a thing that people, I don't think, realize, much like drug culture or anything else, or at the party scene or whatever, you really get indoctrinated in, and it's almost like breaking an addiction of sorts, because you get so much validation within it, I would think.
It does. It fills a lot of voids, the gang life fills a lot of voids for you, especially if you didn't have like a strong family unit and stuff like that. It fills voids of stuff that you think, you needed at that time, stuff that, that was missing. And it is very addicting. The life itself is very addicting, the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny. I remember I was a teacher for 5 years at a high school, and a teacher goes to me like, I don't get it. Like, why do they do that? I'm like, really? How do you not get it? Okay, these kids, no one that's there, maybe a single parent, or oftentimes a grandparent raising them, and the grandparents are old or working or whatever the situation is. And I go, how are they any different than our sports team? They all dress alike because they know it's their homie, and they got each other's back in whatever scenario. And this is like all they know, And so it's kind of, what was it for you? Like, how did you fall into it?
Yeah, there's many reasons. I think, I think about this from time to time, especially because I do public speaking with, a lot of at-risk kids and stuff like that. So I think about a lot of this stuff, and I can only speak for myself. For me, it was really just, it was normalized in my neighborhood. Growing up, gang members, older gang members were normal people to me. They weren't gang members. These were the people that showed me love. They gave me attention, that made me feel good about myself, people like that. So it was very normal for me, to sort of want to aspire to be like them, at some point.
Yeah. Because you don't have much to look up to sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was, when did you first, how early on then did you start really getting involved with the gangs though?
Well, like I said, they were always there. I grew up since I was little. Gang culture was very strong in my neighborhood, growing up in East Los Angeles, in the hood, ever since I was probably 2 or 3 years old, I would see, fights, shootings, criminal acts, drugs and all that stuff, prostitution, so I was, it was there since I was little. And like I said, I saw it as something very normal. Right. And I had bonds with people like that, and they were good to me. So I didn't see it as a problem. So growing up, I always wanted to aspire to be like them. I wanted to be, to be like these people that were giving me what I needed. I'm sorry. What was the actual question? I think I went off a little bit.
No, you're good. I was curious about at what actual age then was it? Did you get it really indoctrinated in?
I started actually getting into trouble and going to jail before I joined a gang, and then I'm from the neighborhood that I grew up in, but I used to hang out with a bunch of people, even people from neighboring gangs and stuff like that, and I wanted to originally be from the gang early on, believe it or not. I did, but I was too young. Mm-hmm. So, so in the mix of it all and being influenced by, by the the circumstances and the elements, of where I grew up, I started getting in trouble. A lot of the kids, there, like myself, might have not had a strong family unit, growing up, and there wasn't a lot of resources. So a lot of us, started getting into trouble. And once I started going to jail, you become more familiar with gang culture, because in jail, almost everybody is from somewhere. Mm-hmm. So you meet guys from other gangs, other neighborhoods. You meet people that are in there from where you grew up. And next thing you know, I just started going in that direction. I always knew that I wanted to be from where I ended up being from. Yeah.
And it's almost like, I don't think people understand, tell me if I'm wrong, it's almost like climbing the social ladder within that community. Yeah,
sort of. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is.
And was it just your neighborhood, or do you have family members who were in the gang as well? Or was it, you said it was something you had always wanted to do because you had been around it. So was your family involved as well? Or was it just like the neighborhood kind of thing?
No, not necessarily. It was the neighborhood.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
The neighborhood. But these people, like I said, these people were people that gave me what I was missing. So I had that bond with them. So they were like family, and they are like family now, of course, years and years later, decades later. This is really the only family that I have. Well, it's not the only family that I have, but I have family in New Mexico. I have, a little bit there, and I don't have a lot of family out here in California. So, they're basically my family.
Right.
The ones that are left anyway.
Gotcha.
Most are doing consecutive life sentences or dead, But
wow.
The very few that are there are the only people that I could say that truly know me, and have been there from day one.
Right.
How do you reflect back on that now? Like that could have easily been me.
Oh, absolutely.
As far as that multiple life sentences.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Life is just crazy when I think of all those moments that I could have been dead or caught life sentences and or been involved in something, on that level. I mean, it's the weirdest thing. When I think sometimes, would I go back and change anything at any moment when I think of all these crazy moments? And I wouldn't, because if I changed something, I'd probably be dead or doing life. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So it's almost
Makes
like you
sense,
can't
though,
go
when you put it
back
like
and,
that.
but so I just, I take that in, and I use that now, to keep me in the state of mind that I'm in today. I'm very grateful. Number one, I'm absolutely grateful to be here today. Aside from being an actor or whatever, every day this is the honest truth. Every day I wake up, and to be honest with you guys, man, I just being alive and free is like, I honestly don't need anything else.
Yeah.
Anything else, dude, is just icing on the cake, man. Sure. It's just the extra gravy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The meat and potatoes is waking up every day and in my own bed. You know what I mean? And waking up, period. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I've seen a lot of people die, including my own brother. And I couldn't ask for anything more, dude. I feel every day I realize how lucky and how just amazingly blessed I am.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So oftentimes along with, gang culture and stuff, because, you got to figure, here I am, I'm a kid, I grew up in a rural community, farming community, and my exposure to gangs was my parents didn't care what I seemed to watch movie-wise, and here I'm watching Colors, and that was the first, and then obviously, gangster rap, because I'm about 7 years younger than you, but I was starting to see that shit, and it was kind of a way of educating me, like, whoa, there's a lot going on in this world that I just don't see. Has it been interesting? Because, people may not know, watching this, you do work, you'll go out and speak to the youth and other people where you're kind of educating them about what this is, and maybe even a sort of reform that we can bring to it.
Yeah, I basically sort of share life hacks with them, I guess, if you could say that. There is a lot of moments in my life where I could have, changed my direction, earlier than I did. And now knowing that, I let these kids know, like these opportunities that you don't realize are there, to get you in a better place and moving in a direction that, you know, where you don't have to worry about your freedom and your life, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just to really just show them that, you know, that no one's perfect and regardless of what you've been through, you can always make a change. You can always make a difference that's going to benefit you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, so that's really what I go in there with that, and I try to just share that with them, you know, and I tell them, you know, like, the only thing you can't bounce back from is death. You know what I'm saying? If you're alive, you can change, and it don't matter how old you are, because you're never going to be that old again, regardless what you are. Yeah. You know, so I share this stuff with them, hoping that it, you know, planting little seeds and hope that it grows into a beautiful plant, you know, and gives them a better chance in life, you know?
Absolutely.
Well, it's great to be able to be that example. I mean, I can't imagine some of the roads and things that you did, and like, you know, and like maybe reflecting, like, how did you feel personal redemption for yourself, and maybe some of the things that you got involved with? I know we spoke before the camera rolls, definitely got involved with, you know, drugs can be a part of the culture and everything else. Like, you know, where was it the point with you? Like, what's the internal work you did on yourself in forgiving some of the, maybe these acts or things like that?
The first thing is forgiving yourself, and you got to understand that, you know, no one is perfect. It's not where you've been, it's where you are. Yeah. And if you can do something good in exchange for every single thing you've done wrong, then to me that's good enough. You know, I think I can die comfortable and die, you know, with my head up. You know what I mean? If I could do that.
Where you are now may not be where you came from. The choices you make today may spiral out of control or spin you in the right direction. Discover a riveting, true story of how Carlos Vieira nearly destroyed his life and lived to tell about it. Stand up, stand firm, believe, make it happen, and live through the madness. Knocking doors down along the way. And don't miss others telling their powerful stories on our podcast. Visit kddmediacompany.com.
I regret all of it, you know, anything that involved hurting someone or putting someone in a bad situation. I regret it all, you know, but I can't take it back. I can only do something to help the next person, or you know, for everything that I did, you know, I can help someone do something good with themselves. Yeah. For me, that's really the only way to look at it. I mean, you can't take anything back. You know, you can only do things that are gonna sort of make a difference. You know, that's you know, redeem yourself somehow that way. You know, like my brother. You know, he died. When I talk to these kids, you know, the thought of maybe, you know, changing the direction or the way that one of these kids is thinking, that might, you know, get him out of ending up like my brother. To me, that's a win, even if it's just one, you know, out of every 100 or 1,000 that I speak to, whether it be at a school or probation camp or juvenile hall or whatever, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what was it with your brother? Was it the gang life, drugs? What was the situation for him? How did he pass?
He was in the life. He died of drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he died of drugs, overdose. So,
like, I know we talked. You had mentioned something that we haven't heard in a long time. PCP. It's like that is aging it. You know, that's a little
PCP,
bit.
man.
People now like, what the?
We've had a couple people
about?
mention lewds, so it's a lot of. We've heard some older terms for drugs that don't really. I don't even think they make lewds anymore.
Yeah. Or, what did I mention? Like angel dust one time. Like dudes with lace weed with angel dust. And everything. It's like, nobody does that, but
yeah. There's a lot of stuff back then, you know, primos. I think primos are still around, right? The lacing the joint with crack cocaine, you know?
Oh,
I just think
those are fun.
Primos.
Primos, yeah. Well, I don't even know why they call it primos, but yeah, primos, PCP, you know, juice, frios, we used to call them in the hood, you know, frios. You know,
man,
dipping a menthol, you know.
Oh, okay,
dipping a menthol into this liquid, man. And you had to be careful with it, because if you lit that shit wrong, it could blow up in your face.
What was the liquid?
You know what? I've never really known what it is. People say different things. I'm not sure what it is, so I don't want to say something and it's wrong. But I've never actually like looked it up to see exactly chemically, scientifically what is it that we were. Some people say it's tranquilizer, like horse tranquilizer.
Oh, fuck.
Some people say it's I don't know. I've heard a lot of stuff, but this shit was the thing, man. The 80s, bro. That was it, man.
There's a lot of stupid shit.
You did a, and we would have these little bottles, man. We called them, little bottles that that's how you carried around in your pocket,
Yeah.
And you got some menthol, some cools, and dipped it, 10 spot, 20 spot, all the way to the filter, and we used to call it one hitter quitter, man, because that's all it took. I mean, the good stuff, you did that, man, and your body was numb. Some people can handle it different. I was able to drive and, do a lot of normal shit on it. Mm-hmm. Some people couldn't really even get off their chair. It just depends on the person.
Right.
But it was a great drug for a gang member, I guess, because when I was on PCP a couple of times, I got jumped. To the point that there was blood everywhere, lacerations. Split head, all that, and you don't even feel it, man. Right. Some people say it gives you extra strength and all that. I don't know about all that. But it definitely,
some dude lift up a car or something like that.
I don't know about that.
I think that's a lot of those urban
this
myths.
dude fought off like 30 cops, but he was on PCP. It's like, what?
Well, what it does do is it numbs you, so you don't feel pain. Right. I've been in car accidents and all that and walked away and, broken limbs and all that, and you don't feel it. You don't feel it until it wears off.
I could just have this vision of you like getting out of a car with a broken leg, just running like Carlos, hold on, I'll be right there or some shit.
It makes you superhuman on that level, I guess. I got jumped plenty of times and I didn't know I was losing the fight. You know what I mean?
Right. I thought I was winning until I heard about it.
Until someone saw me and they were like, dude, what the fuck? Like, damn, you got fucked up, bro. Like, you need to go to the hospital,
Yeah.
It's like, nah, man, I'm good. Like, nah, bro, you're not.
Like, Cesar, we could see your skull. Like, of course
exactly.
you can't know. I can see.
I've heard that one. I really have.
Really?
No, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Underneath this cap, I got some, yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Some nice ones, man. Yeah. I've literally heard that before, yeah. I can see your skull. Something like, man, don't tell me that shit.
I think that would be so much worse hearing about it. I was in a car accident and I felt, once the car landed, like I felt, okay, all right. But then I'm looking at the oncoming traffic, stopped looking, and everyone's eyes are wide open, jaws dropped. And I'm like, oh, that's making it so much worse. What the fuck? So I can only imagine someone saying, Mikey, I seen your skull. Like that. Oh my gosh, that'd be terrifying.
Dude, I had an ice pick one time. I got jumped at the neighborhood park. And I had an ice pick sticking out of my head. Yeah.
That's
and I went by this.
Just all tore up from all this?
Not completely, but I mean, I got some nice scars under there. Yeah. Got some nice scars here and there.
Does the missus like it? Is like my baby's got battle wounds.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because she's very different than I am. She grew up. She's from Oklahoma. I'm from California. She's not from the hood, So actually, she's never been with someone like me. So all this stuff is new to her, and she just she just shakes her head like, I don't get it, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Women love the bad boys, man.
I guess so. Yeah.
But you're the reformed bad boy.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Totally
reformed.
Yeah.
Speaking of bad, I mean, we got to jump into some of the fun, we'll bounce around. But, man, I got to know you from Breaking Bad. So what was it like? I got to ask, about Cranston and your experience just on set, being a part of that show that carried over with Better Call Saul.
Yeah, that was an incredible show that I was on. I didn't think it was going to blow up the way it did. I'm very grateful to have been on it, and it was a really good experience. Everybody on that show is amazing, honestly. Every time I went out there to New Mexico to shoot, everybody was great. Everybody from the people behind the camera to the actors, Bryan Cranston, amazing guy. Mm-hmm. Just like the friendliest, coolest guy, dude. I mean, unbelievable. I have a lot of love for that guy. He's funny. Mm-hmm. He's funny.
God,
he's super funny. You wouldn't know that unless you shoot with him. Yeah. But it was great, from him to the creator, Vince Gilligan, just down to earth people, man. That whole team, that whole camp is just was a real pleasure to work with, and I got to work with people that are, that are on a amazing level in the craft of acting as well. So I learned a lot. It was great experience.
Is Brian? I mean, you had a couple scenes with him, right? Were you in shared camera time?
Yeah,
Couple
so
was it a situation where he was the kind of guy you could go to and, hey, Brian, I'm not really sure how to approach this, that he was really collaborative, or was he just like, Cesar, you're fucking awesome, just be yourself, or what?
No, he was like I said, he was very down to earth, very humble guy, open to anything. I mean, if I wanted to talk to him about anything, like, oh yeah, and we'd talk. So I believe he would have been completely open to any kind of, like, if I would have said, hey, I need help on this, he would have totally helped me out. Yeah.
Was there a picking of your brain, being that it's like, you actually you lived in that lifestyle, that it's like, hey, Cesar, really, like, how did this really happen? And you're just like, yeah, guys, that's not how it would go, or something.
I do that on a lot of projects, especially like independent films. A lot of times I end up kind of being like a, what is it called?
Typecast?
No, the guy who like kind of tells them how to do it, or, hey, you know what, this part right here, we don't really do that, or we don't really say that, or he wouldn't, that guy wouldn't wear that like that, or or say that kind of, those kind of words in that situation. But with Breaking Bad, I mean, I got to give it to the writer, man. He was pretty on point. So no one ever asked me for anything, for my opinion. Nah, I just and I thought it was, I thought it was very well done. So
do you have any cool stories from on set?
You know what?
Like something that stands out you remember was a great memory?
I mean, the whole thing was a great memory. I think, watching Raymond Cruz, who played Tuco,
Yeah.
we were part of the first, bad guys on the, on the show. Just watching him work, man, was incredible. Like, the guy goes 200%, and if you watch that, you see what he's doing. It takes a lot, it takes a lot of energy to do that. And this guy would do it. People don't realize when you're on set, everything you do, every single shot, you don't just do it one time. You do it 10, 20 times. They want to do the wide shot. They want to do the close-up. Right. Close-up on me, close-up on you. I mean, you end up doing it so many times. And this guy that was like mind-blowing. Yeah. Seeing him work. Like I said, it takes a lot to play Tuco, man. And this dude was on.
That character was fucking gnarly, especially when we get like high as shit and
Oh yeah.
This that. It's fun. I can see it vividly. I almost want to go into it like, come on, man. He was just like freaking amped.
Seeing him do that several times, it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
How did you even get into that? Like, so guy goes through gang life, and
I swear I was just going to ask that. Yeah.
Single mom, right? It was just your mom?
Yeah, she married.
Oh, okay.
Nice man. But I've never met my biological father. Don't know his name. Don't know who he is. I don't even know what he looks like.
Yeah. Did that ever trouble you? Like, is there any pointers like he did me a favor? Or?
You know what? Thinking about it now, I'm sure that subconsciously, it affected me, of course, obviously, right? I don't see it, and I don't see the pinpoints where that might have affected me. Looking back, I know that it is incredibly important to have a father figure, which is why I make sure that I'm, there for my kids, I realize how important that is. Like I said, it was such a, my whole life was so crazy, from beginning to end, that I don't really see the pinpoint where, oh, that's the part where I would have needed my dad. But I'm sure it affected me, of course.
Sure,
I had really low self-esteem growing up. I had a level of self-hate, I'm sure. How else how else can a young man feel completely okay with dying, and have no problem with that, I mean, you can't feel very good about yourself to be okay with that, Growing up, I was okay with dying. I prepared for it my whole life, even before joining the gang. And joining the gang, it was understood. It's something that we just know. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's something that you agree to. You join a gang, you already know the deal. You're going to be doing 25 years to life, or 100 years, and or you're going to be dead.
Mm-hmm.
And so that mentality, being completely okay with that, is proof that, there was a lot of shit wrong with me.
Sure.
Yeah. And not having a dad was probably one of them. So, yeah.
Well, and I hope, and something that, and I think we're making moves forward where people are getting better. Like, sometimes relationships don't work out, but it's like making sure a mom and dad is present, like, I think would change a lot of shit that goes on. like quickly, like, and respecting that, like, okay, you know, you're the father, you're the mother, it didn't work out, but let's be respectful and be there for the kids. It would, I don't know. What do you kind of see with the speaking that you do as far as that, like presence of fathers and mom, you know, like both parties there? I mean, is it?
Well, it's really important. I mean, they don't have to be together, but it's very important to have those two elements in your life, you know, whether it be for simple advice, you know, feedback on something, you know, to be able to call your mom or call your dad, you know, and hey, you know what? And you know, my son, you know, one of my sons, well, all of them do that, but one of my sons, he especially always does that. I'm his go-to guy, and I love it, you know, and I love giving him my feedback, you know, and I can tell that he feels so much better after talking to me, and he's like, you know what, Dad, you're right, and he calls me like all stressed out, and at the end of the conversation, he's just like calm and chill, and he's like, you know what, you're right, or he'll tell me days later, you know, about everything we talked about prior to that, and how much it opened his, you know, his eyes to seeing things different, and, you know, gave him a better perspective that made him feel better about the situation that he was wigging out about, you know. So it's very important, you know, and if you're growing up and you don't have that, or you don't have a good relationship with your parents, you know, by default, someone is going to take that position, you know, and that position might be, you know, a 30-year-old drug dealer or a 30-year-old gang member who's living in a way that wouldn't benefit you. But if that's who you look up to and that's who you're taking advice from, then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your life isn't going to go very well. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if mother figures are people who, you know, who don't have that, who aren't in a position where a mother would be, you know, like is going to care about you on that level, you know, maybe has a different, you know, agenda, you know, or whatever, you know, they're steering you in a certain direction for a certain reason, you know, that's going to be different than your biological mother or your biological father would, you know. And also, you know, just you have a chance at least at having someone steer you in a better direction, just period, right? Sure. You know, because you have that biological bond with them, you know. I feel like it's my responsibility as a father, you know, to do that for my kids, you know what I'm saying? I can do that for others, but my kids, that's my blood, you know. So it's just that higher responsibility, you know, that you know, to make sure that they're okay.
Well, it's as a father myself, it's like our legacy in essence to the world. If we don't prepare them to go out and be confident within themselves, let alone to want to contribute to society in a positive way, whatever that may be, it's like, you know, we're kind of shitting on the rest of everything else too. You know, that's kind of how I view it, you know. Yeah, how many kids you got?
I have 5 kids.
What?
Oh, yeah, wow. 5 kids. They're all grown. My baby is 20. She's going to hate me for this if she sees this. 22 or 23. My baby. Yeah. And then it goes all the way to 30 some. So yeah, I started young, man. Yeah, we didn't have Atari and Coleco at the time. Couldn't afford that shit. Didn't even have a damn Hot Wheel, you know what I mean? I think the most, you know, maybe some fucking marbles, you know what I mean? Right. So yeah, on the spare time, man, you know.
Wait, so how old is your oldest?
30 some, yeah. From early 30s to early 20s, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I started having kids as a teenager, you know. Wow. My first baby mama, I only have 2. I have a first baby mama, which was a girl from my neighborhood. You know, she was like my crime partner, you know what I mean? In the hood. She was from my hood. Me and her did all kind of crazy shit. At the end of the day, between the drugs and the gangs and jail and all the crazy stuff we were doing, you know, we ended up messing with each other. It's like a damn blur now when I think about it. You know? Just 2 kids, man, not knowing any better. You know, 2 kids from broken homes, and she didn't have a father either. I don't mean to put her life out there, but it is what it is, man. It's the reality of life in the hood, you know. Her mom was an alcoholic, you know. And so she ended up under the same influences as I did, and you know, and ended up a gang member. I mean, she was with it. Have nothing but respect for this woman. But yeah, we made 3 kids. I made 3 kids with her, and I'm glad to say that, you know what, she has turned her life around. She did it way before me. I'm not going to say her name, but anybody who knows. She's a registered nurse. Been doing that for,
good for her.
You know, 20, 30 years. I don't know.
Nice.
She got her shit together. I didn't.
Yeah.
You know, things between me and her didn't work out, obviously, you know, not only because I was a child, but myself. And, you know, it takes, you know, us guys, man, it takes a lifetime for us to figure shit out, you know.
Yeah.
Women, they're always ahead of us, you know. I barely started figuring shit out in my 40s, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
And was able to be a decent partner, you know, for anyone. So yeah, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
That's comforting, Cesar, because I just hit 43 and I'm just kind of now, like, for the first time in my life, I'm like, I think I'm actually in a good relationship. Which this guy encouraged me. He's like, you know, you really should date. I don't know about that. And it's like the most healthiest thing I've ever done.
That's great.
But, so the question prior to our little segue was, how the hell did acting come about?
You know what? Acting, never thought about doing it. Last time I had a dream before the dream of being a big shot and, you know, in a jail cell doing 23 hours a day, coming out for 1 hour and calling shots, you know, that was my dream. Before that dream, when I was innocent, short time I was actually innocent, I wanted to be an astronaut. There was a couple, you know, a scientist. I was always into science and all that as a young child. You know, after that, I wanted to die on a street corner and you know, die with honors, you know, like a Navy SEAL would, you know, on a mission, right? But acting just kind of fell in my lap, to be honest with you. It just fell in my lap. Yeah, it was at the right moment though, because I've had many opportunities to do some really cool stuff in my life. I'm very, you know, it's hard for me to say this because it almost sounds like I'm bragging, but I've had a lot of talent in my life, you know.
Sure.
Luckily for me, I've been good at a lot of things, you know. At one time, I was good with music, you know, and I was I had so many opportunities, ran into the right people, you know. I had a production studio with someone, you know, just the greatest people, you know, that I could have had, but I still had one foot in the door and one foot out, you know. I was still trying to be a gangster and be a musician, rapper, producer, whatever, and it never works out, you know.
Yeah.
Never works out. So I threw a lot of great opportunities away. But at this moment, when the acting came around, luckily I was in a better place. I was already looking for something different. I was already kind of going in a different direction, you know, mentally. You know what I'm saying? And so it came at the right time, you know. It came at the right time. Had it came earlier, I would have done the same thing, you know. I would have just ruined it. So it came at the right time. I was actually just being nosy at a music video. It was a music video by Mary J. Blige. I just wanted to really see Mary J. Blige. I've always been a fan, you know. And so I went to go be nosy, and that's the day that I met my first manager, agent in the business. This was a guy who had a company, an agency, who specialized in putting people like myself on videos, commercials, movies, film, TV, whatever, right? He was like the go-to guy, you know, the go-to agency if Hollywood wanted something real, you know, they wanted the real deal, real LA people, you know, hood guys or whatever. So he came up to me, said, "Hey, you have a good look, man. You ever thought about acting?" I almost took it as even though I was already in a different, you know, I was already thinking a little different, it still was like, I ain't no fucking actor. Fuck, I look like an actor to you, you know what I mean? It was almost like, would I look like a fucking actor, you know? But took his card, didn't think much of it. To me, you know, being in the hood, you kind of see those things as, you know, the fool wants money. It's a scam or something, right? So it is what it is. You know, I didn't think much of it. Months later, I ran into his card, and somebody talked me into calling it, you know? I was like, for what? It's probably a scam. Like, you know, you never know. Sounds cool, you know? Called it. The guy remembered me. He remembered who I was. And to me, that was very significant. And only because of that, I was like, you know what? That's crazy. You know, I called, hey, you know, hey, yeah, you gave me a card, blah, blah. Who's this? My name's Cesar, blah, 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 blah. I told him, yeah, I met you at this. Oh, you know, you're from, you know, he's an ex-hood guy too. You know, he's like, oh, you're from, I said, yeah, that's me. Oh, shit, you know, how come you never called? I said, you know, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. He said, send me your picture, your information, blah, blah, blah. I said, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I was going to an audition, you know, which I knew nothing about. And the rest is history, man. Yeah.
That's great. Perfect place at the perfect time, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
What was the first paying credit
gig was Christina Aguilera music video.
Really?
I started off doing background work, you know, and did that for about a couple years before I got my first speaking. So my first gig was literally a music video. I was featured in a featured extra in a music video. It was called Dirty.
Dirty.
Oh,
Okay.
Dirty, yeah.
I know the song.
It was a big hit, actually.
Yeah,
it ended
I know
up being
the
like a
song.
big thing. Yeah. She's like in a boxing ring.
Yeah.
So I was
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I was one of the guys in her corner.
Nice.
That's
nice.
right on. What was the first speaking gig?
First speaking gig was a TV show called The Shield,
Oh, yeah.
which is no longer around. Was also like it was has some awards behind it, right?
Yeah.
The Shield,
Yeah.
big time,
I know
you
the
know,
Shield, yeah.
TV show. So that was my first speaking gig. Yeah.
Nice.
Right on.
Yeah, this guy got me in, man. This guy, Manny Jimenez, actually would be a great person for you guys to interview. I'm going to give you guys the information after.
Absolutely, yeah, that'd be great.
The guy is an ex-hood guy just like me, you know, same struggles and same, you know, disadvantages growing up. And he is now, he does the same kind of work that I do. We do a lot of the stuff together, you know, the speaking and the, you know, just trying to help humanity and kids and stuff. But he's also a director, a writer, and a producer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we've actually done a couple of things that you can check out on his YouTube page. We've done a couple of projects together, and we got some big stuff in the works at the moment right now.
That's cool.
Yeah. Great guy to interview.
Yeah, we'd love to.
Yeah.
Well, I know you've been busy because we've been kind of trying to shuffle this around. Like we met prior to this recording.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
3 months
that's
ago or
right.
something. It's like, I can't that time. I'm busy, but I'll try next time.
Life, things are coming up, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's cool as shit. Let's go Fast and Furious. What was that experience like? 'Cause it's 4, right? If I'm remembering the timeline.
It was 4. It was fourth
Yeah.
installment, yeah.
I mean, that's like that movie's climbed into the echelon as far as if you look at a series of movies like almost Star Wars-esque in that it's, you know, there's going to be like 11 or 12 of these things, and you know, you were a part of that. Do you ever kind of go, that's kind of badass? So it is pretty freaking cool.
It took a while to dawn on me, I'll be honest, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, it is. The franchise is, you know, is incredible. And they're going 10 from what I know.
Well,
Don't
it's
take my
like
word for
10,
it,
and then they had the one offshoot with Statham and
That's
The
right,
Rock.
that's
and,
right.
Yeah,
They
I
had
think
like
they're
a
doing
little-
another segue one
yeah.
or something. Yeah.
They're going to juice it for all it is, man. I don't blame them, right?
Universal's not
working.
fucking
Keep
around.
doing it.
As crazy as they are, they're fun to watch, right? A lot of people,
If
you know,
it works,
from this,
then why stop?
why stop? Yeah, why stop? Hey, yeah, you know, I'm very happy to have been a part of that franchise as well, and even more so to have the opportunity to have worked with such an amazing person like Paul Walker. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
you know, and a lot of people say that about everyone when they pass, but I'm gonna tell you from my experience, you know, I read people very well. The guy, in my eyes, was absolutely, genuinely humble. Just a really nice guy, humble and down to earth. Yeah. And I had a great time with him, man. It's so sad that he had to go so soon, you know?
Yeah, I've talked with a couple of people that have done different projects with him, or one of my good friends had went to high school and surfed with him and had said that about him, that it was pretty just, like you said, you kind of see what you get, or what you get is what you see. I forget how that saying goes right now.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was incredible how Vin Diesel walked Paul Walker's daughter down the aisle when she got married. And I was like, wow, like that was just giving the chills saying it. But that's cool. It goes to show like how big of a family that is, the Fast and the Furious, you know what I mean? So it's it's incredible.
And even his immediate family, you know, I talked to, you know, his brothers and stuff, and I mean, just the nicest guys, dude.
Yeah.
Like once I met his brothers and all that, I was like, you know what, I see where he gets it from.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they all seem to be just very decent human beings, you know, very down to earth and humble. Yeah, great people.
What was your favorite part of shooting that movie?
You know what, I'm a physical kind of guy, you know, so just being able to do 90% of those stunts on there, man, was the most coolest experience in my career, to be honest with you. Yeah, they won't let me do everything, and they didn't let me do everything then, you know, because, you know, you get hurt, you know.
Right.
So I didn't do everything, but I did most of them. I'll be honest, I didn't do the fall into the car. You know, professional did that. You know, he got cut and everything. And I'm like, you see, that's why we didn't let you do it. Like, all right, you know, you're right. But, you know, just being able to do that was the funnest thing in the world, you know.
So you wanted to do it, they just wouldn't let you.
I wanted to do the whole thing. I wanted to do all my own stunts, and they had someone there for me and everything. And you know, I had to step back at some point. The director, you know, Justin Lin was like, no, can't do that. Sorry. All right, man, whatever. But I've done my own stunts in a lot of things. Yeah. If you look at my IMDb, I have, I think, like 12 stunt credits or whatever.
Yeah. Nice.
Did you get any experience like with the stunt driving and stuff too? Any of that training with it, or was it just not so much?
Not so much. I didn't go into it. I knew that I wanted to, you know, be an actor, not necessarily a stunt guy. But so I didn't, you know, take any kind of training or anything for that. Right. I kind of just did it from my own past training. You know? So, and they kind of believed that, you know, that I could do it, and I did it with that. But
did you go, ice pick?
Yeah, exactly.
What I'm talking about.
You see this, you see that, yeah, man. You know, I know how to drive cars like that. You know, I can do those kind of things. But I did learn a lot from the actual stunt guys as well, you know? Yeah. Amazing guys, man. I give it up to the stunt guys. Just amazing work that these guys do, you know? They put their life on the line, you know, just to give you that shot, you know, that looks real. Yeah. And sometimes it is real. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What was Justin Lin like to work for? He just seems cool as shit. I love a lot of his work.
He's so chill. Just the coolest guy, dude. I was actually a bit nervous, I guess, you know, working with him, you know, like not to bug him, but he was so cool. He was so cool. Like, yeah, see this and that, and, you know, just, and it's crazy. Getting that was such a, you know, process. You know, I think I went to several callbacks. As an actor, you do the original audition or whatever, and then they call you back, and then you usually get it. But for this, I kept going back and back and back, and I was just like, oh man, I don't know if I'm going to get this. But the thing that got me through, you know, at the end of the day, my looks and everything, anyone can have that. And I'm only saying that because a lot of times, you know, people hit me up, oh, you know, yeah, homie, blah, blah, you know, I want to be an actor. But, you know, it does take acting as well, you know.
Sure, no,
and luckily for me, I had the chops, you know, to get me in to do that. And I also had, you know, the look, and he wanted someone authentic. So, you know, it all helped as the formula. But at the end of the day, in film, if, you know, the looks and, you know, whether you've been a gangster and all that, can only get you so far. At the end of the day, you got to study the craft. You got to learn about the actual art of acting. And so, luckily for me, I had enough to get me in the door, and I can be nothing but, you know, pleased that I was able to.
I'm trying to remember who else, the other actors that were like in your crew in that movie. I'm drawing a blank because you had some other really cool actors that were kind of like, you know.
Yeah, you know what? There's, I believe in the four, I believe a friend of mine who started with the same company actually. His name was Luis Moncada.
Okay.
He ended up being one of the twins on Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. You know, those two crazy twins?
Yeah,
so these guys started with me in the same agency, you know? There's some real dudes, you know, from the hood, and, you know, that decided to do something with their life. And as you can see, they're doing very well as well. Yeah. Really nice guys, too. Yeah.
That's funny, because do you know which characters he's talking about?
I don't.
So there's two twins that
the Salamanca brothers are twins.
Yeah. And like their whole story is just like, I mean, where the grandpa like trying to drown one of them because he ratted him out, and like they were like indoctrinated into this shit, like from like, you know, little
cold-blooded, stone-cold killers.
And they just, it's funny to have Cesar say the nicest guys, because they just like go up to dudes in a parking lot and just like and slice them, you know, them up and blood everywhere, and they just
hack somebody down like nothing,
face and walk away. It's like there is no way those are nice guys. They're like, yeah, we come over for barbecue every Sunday, you know. It's like
really cool guys. Yeah,
that's funny.
But they were part of I believe they were part of that same installment.
Yeah.
5150 is power. The power to overcome, the power to persevere, the power to set your life on a course for success. When you're faced with the challenges life throws at you, you focus and do what is needed to go beyond what is required. So stand up, stand firm, believe, make it happen, and live through the madness, knocking doors down along the way. We are 5150.
every time I go, wow, the Fast and Furious is getting more and more crazy. I mean, the last one, spoiler alert, they sent the fucking car to space.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
And I remember starting out watching it because I had like the Honda Civic when it was first getting cool in our group, and we went and watched it, you know, like 15 cars in a row. The first one, and I text my buddy, I'm like, can you believe now they're sending cars to fucking space? I'm so done with these movies. He's like, you're a fucking lie. You're gonna watch it again. I'm like, yeah, I've already watched it 5 times.
That's the thing, you know, and I heard that a lot too, you know, on social media. Everybody was like, they went overboard. But, you know, just because of that, you're going to see the next one. You're going to want to see how crazy or stupid, whatever you think it was, you're going to want to see what next, you know, what they're going to do next. So,
well, I mean, it keeps selling tickets too.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, it's really,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, they're fun.
Yeah.
You know, I tell everybody they're just fun to watch, you know.
We didn't talk Better Call Saul any.
Better Call Saul. You know, I ended up being on that. Unfortunately, Vince Gilligan had written me in pretty much the whole thing, but Raymond Cruz ended up getting a season regular on a different show where he was doing something completely different. So he wasn't able to come back on, and since we were like a crew,
Right.
you know, I was only in the first season of Better Call Saul. Yeah.
right.
What was that?
Nonetheless, I'm happy to be in it, you know, because that ended up being
Sure.
Yeah.
you know, a great show as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. What was I, of course, obviously working with Vince Gilligan again, but, you know, a totally different side of the cast and new people coming in. What was that experience like? Kind of, okay, we shot this. We're going before that.
Yeah. It was cool when I got the call. You know, I was like, oh wow, they're doing a prequel. I'm like, cool, because I died. You know, I was like, oh, I get to live again. Yeah. So I was excited. You know, so yeah, it was a great experience. Same thing. What is the main guy, Odenkirk? Or what is his
Bob
name?
Odenkirk.
Bob, yeah, great guy too. Very cool guy as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was fun, you know, working with Raymond again and hurting people.
Yeah.
And getting paid for it. And then at the end of the day, no one's really hurt, you know? Everybody goes home.
Are you the type to like watch yourself on TV, or do you not like seeing yourself?
I don't.
You don't
It's not that I don't like, I just don't go out of my way to do it.
Sure. But if it was on, you're not going to change it.
Yeah, I'm not going to change it. I'll be like, oh, okay, whatever. Let me see what the hell I did.
Everybody
But
come look at Dad's on
Yeah,
TV.
yeah.
Does your wife like ever, Cesar, you're on TV. Come
She
over.
does. She does. She'll send me, you know, videos if I'm not home. You're on whatever, HBO, you're on, you know. Yeah, she's a big fan.
That's good, man.
That's
good.
cool.
That support system.
I don't watch TV. I don't watch TV, period. I haven't
Really?
watched TV in about 17 years. Yeah.
I'll be damned.
Yeah. And so I don't watch TV. I don't watch my stuff. I don't watch anything.
Yeah.
I do once in a while will binge watch a particular show. If I hear something's really cool, I'll do that. I like going to the movies also. You know, when I have time, we'll go see a movie, you know, when it comes out. But I don't watch regular television. I don't. She does, though.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What are some of the shows you binge?
You know what? I've watched shows like... I watched SOA back when, you know, ended up watching it.
Loved Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, nice.
Loved it, dude. Oh my gosh.
awesome.
Did you watch the Mayans?
I have not watched the Mayans. I've watched a few episodes. I happen to know a lot of people that are in it. But I also binge watched Boardwalk Empire and also a couple of other ones, just kind of like not in the same genre, sort of, just kind of random stuff that I've heard about and kind of looked into it and say, you know what, that looks pretty good. Or maybe it's someone in it that I really like to see, you know, as an actor. And
No,
so
that
I've watched a couple stuff. Yeah,
my dad and I show was Sons of Anarchy. Like we
Sons
would
of
watch
Anarchy,
that, and
yeah.
it was just
that was fun. Yeah,
it was super fun, and the way it ended was perfect. It tied up all loose ends. It was just absolutely perfect, and I was bummed it was over. But yeah, it was a good
Breaking Bad was that way. I still say that's the best ending to a TV series ever.
The best ending to a TV series is The Sopranos.
That one's
Just kidding.
no, you're not. One of my top favorite ever.
Why?
I can binge watch that the whole
It's a phenomenal
thing from
show. I love
beginning
the show.
to end.
I'll go Sopranos
is-
trivia with you toe to toe all day, dude.
It is
I'm telling you.
the best, one of the best shows ever.
Agreed.
In my opinion.
Agreed. But the way
Sopranos.
it ended,
But the
was
last
horrible.
episode.
The last scene, the last, you know, the music's getting louder, Journey's getting her. It's Meadow can't park the car. She opens the door. Cut.
It like faded to white, didn't
Did
it?
Syl die? What happened? No, it didn't fade to white. It cut to black, and that was it.
Oh, it cut to
now
black.
we're
I
all
couldn't remember if it
stuck
faded
with-
white or
Yeah,
cut to
it's
black.
just one of those things.
Now
You
we're
know,
all
it's just
with the
one of
saints
those
of
things.
Newark.
Like, you fucking decide.
But regardless of that,
Oh,
it is
besides the ending, it was
just
phenomenal.
phenomenal.
And they won award after award.
Yeah.
Like they were just on top of the world.
Sopranos will be forever, I think, one of my favorite.
Oh,
absolutely.
hands down
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Love that show.
So jumping back
I
to
could
just
talk about
like,
that for hours.
it's cool as shit to, a guy of you that went through all this and where you're at now and who you are now. Like, what is a day like for Cesar? Because you don't watch much TV or things, but then I saw this cool photo on your Instagram, something that I also do, hiking, and I didn't see what mountain it was, but it's like, okay, that hike, I'm pretty sure is like a good 3-4 hour hike. So you seem to like really
6.5 hours.
6.5.
Yeah.
Is that one way or both? Up and down?
That's up and down.
Up and down.
Up and
Okay.
down,
Yeah. Because the last
Up and
one I
down.
did was it's up near Lassen Mountain up north. I can't remember the name of Kraken Mountain or something like that, but that's pretty wild. So like, what's a day like for you? Because you seem like a guy that's like, you got to go and have challenges.
I do. I have to challenge myself. It's sort of my spiritual practice. I have to challenge myself. I have to push myself, whether it be in the gym, whether it be hiking, whatever the case may be. A day for me is taking care of stuff, and taking care of those who I love, Right now, as you know, my mom, there's a lot going on with my mom, so that takes up a lot of my time. But the minute I get a break to get away, man, I'll look for the highest mountain, man, and just go ham, you know what I mean? And
How did
climb
you develop
shit.
that passion?
I've always kind of had it, to be honest. Once I started applying my energy and my efforts into something different, I started to find this love for those kind of things, And like I said, I'm a very physical guy, so physical challenges is something that I almost need. It's like my anti-drug, Yeah. I have to punish myself. I punish myself, and then I feel good afterwards.
Yeah, but
I can sleep at night knowing that I tortured myself that day. I don't know what the hell that's about. Some masochistic type shit.
But
I'm still fucked up, but I've turned it around into a way that it helps people and it keeps me, sane.
Right.
That's the best way.
And productive. You know what I mean?
But I'm
a nice guy.
But it's beneficial now, yeah.
Keeps me from thinking of being one of the Salamanca brothers.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, it's cool, man. I mean, what really was the point? Because you mentioned like you're, doing music because you still kind of had a foot in the gang life. Where was the point for you? It's just like, I'm done with this and it's time my life turns around. Was it incarceration or was it just like, I know where this is going and it's a coffin?
Well, it's all of those things. At first, it wasn't incarceration. I actually liked it. I think I became institutionalized. I liked it. I would get out and I low-key wanted to go back in and would do kind of careless things, or, it was part of the life that I was living. But I was okay with going back to jail. Every time I was okay. And many times I took the rap, for the homies, like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna let you guys go home. It's all good. I'm gonna put it on myself. And I was okay with that. I was happy to go back. It was just fucking weird, dude. Yeah. Like jail gave me some kind of sense of comfort of somehow. I don't know what.
Almost structure?
I haven't figured that out 100%. I've spoke about it before and I don't feel like I'm gonna talk about it really good, so I'm going to leave it at that.
You're good.
I don't want to mess up. But yeah, at some point, I just stopped feeling that way about that. I stopped feeling okay with dying. At some point, after seeing most of the people that I grew up with, die or end up in jail for life, at some point, I can't say that it was one thing that happened. I already had 5 kids since I was a teenager. Gangbang, did both, try to be a dad, still a gang member and all that. My brother had already passed, I believe, and I was still. At some point, I could say I probably started waking up and not feeling the same. It probably started one day, and every time after, I just didn't feel the same way about all that. You know, I was like, you know what? Shit, I never thought this was going to happen, but I kind of don't want to be in jail for the rest of my life. Kind of don't want to die after all. I think I want to live. I'm not sure why, but I don't think I want that anymore. It just didn't feel the same. I started feeling out of place with that. Something that I was so cool with and so okay with,
right?
You know, to the death. I was like, yeah, I'm cool with this shit. I don't give a fuck. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, and that started to change. And as that started to change, luckily, I am a pretty intelligent human being. You know, I think a lot of us are that are in that life. And luckily for me, I started using some of that intelligence and being started to be loyal to how I was feeling, you know, be real to myself, you know, and I started to you know, to look for something different, you know, and it wasn't so much looking for a way out at that moment, you know. I've never gotten out of my neighborhood, you know. I don't think you can really get out of some gangs.
Sure.
I think mine is one of them. So, but you know what? It just, your perspective changes and the way that you deal with people changes, you know? You know, nowadays you know, I'm still cool with my homies, you know, and some are still in the life, and there's only a few left from my generation. And literally I can count them in one hand. But you know what? I'm there on a different level now. You know what I mean? I'm there for them if they need something, you know, different. You know, I'm not there to, you know, to hide a gun or help them go shoot somebody. You know, but you know what? If they need me, I'll be there for them. You know, it's just different now. Our relationship is different. You know, I'm there to help them. You know, if they want to do something different with their life. You know?
Hopefully transcend
I support them. I love them. I you know, I have love for you know, where I came from and everyone from there. You know, but I just I do not involve myself in anything that is illegal, and I don't, you know. But if someone needs help on with something positive, or you know, whatever the case may be, if I can do it, I'll do it. You know, I'm one of those people that, you know, anyone can hit me up about anything. If I can do it, I'll do it. If I can't, I can't. Whether it be my kids or anyone I know, you know, I'm gonna be straight out. If I can do it, I'll do it. If not, I'll tell you I can't do it.
Right.
And that's that.
And that becomes a very powerful thing in life and a necessity.
Yeah.
And we'll wear ourselves thin. All right, well, we're getting near the end here. We do some fun random questions. Cesar, are you ready for these? These are just for shits and giggles.
All right,
and
shits and
stupidness. Mikey, I mean, I don't know if you want to hit him with the most important question ever.
The most important one is, so you've been in a couple fights, been in a couple, all that good stuff.
My whole life.
I've been in a few.
So
my
with
mom
that
used to
being
fight
said,
me like a little rooster when I was little. Yeah, literally for shits and giggles with her friends. Yeah,
with
they used
her
to fight
friends'
us.
kids?
Yeah, from my memory. Yeah, since I was really little. Yeah, until there was blood. You fought until there was blood.
Was there money?
I'm not sure. I didn't get any.
I didn't get any.
I didn't get no toys out of it if it was. I don't know if there was any bets on it, but yeah, man, I was being fought since I was little. My mom was that kind of woman.
Was your mom in the life?
She wasn't from my gang, but my mom was a very tough woman. My mom was a very violent woman.
Right.
So
like if you guys like
she was the kind of woman that, you know, my whole life growing up, you know, if I lost a fight or something happened or I got jumped, and this is way before gangs or anything, you know, she'd be the kind that give me a baseball bat and said, you go over there and you crack that motherfucker's head open. Wow. And a lot of times I did, and the police came through, and I don't really remember how that ended up, but I mean, yeah, my mom, you know, violence was a very normal thing. Unfortunately, it was a very normal thing. My mom normalized that. Just my mom was very impulsive, and you know what? And to say something good about my mom, you know, my mom wasn't the kind that. My mom was never a victim. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Growing up, my mom was fucking people up. My mom was never slapped around or anything.
Sure.
I saw her do that. I saw her break bottles on motherfuckers' heads and whatever, you know, fucking blood all over the fucking kitchen and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. My mom, so you know what? My mom,
And she was grooming you guys to basically take no shit from anybody.
Exactly.
Well, you were in a tough, it's just a tough neighborhood.
To begin with.
I would think you would have to, that people don't understand, you almost have to be that way to survive. It's like,
so your mom was grooming you for the life that you had to live in.
Yeah. And I think the reason that I'm that way as well is because of my mom. Even right now, you know, my mom, you know, like I said, terminal cancer, more than one tumor, terminal cancer, liver failure, kidney failure, heart failure, COPD, I don't know, something congestive, something, right? She's still alive. You look at my mom, I mean, you know, you good, Mom? Oh yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I saw the video.
She
that
could
you
be
had
dying,
posted
but
of her movement to, was the ICU to you know.
Yeah,
the
my mom has
ward.
always been that way. Yeah, just you know, no pussy shit. You know, you ain't gonna be no pussy.
Yeah.
Well, with all that fighting being said,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I threw it out.
No,
No, that was
I
good.
wanted to hear about. Yeah. Would you rather fight one horse-sized chicken or 10 chicken-sized horses?
Well, shit, taking 10 chicken-sized horses.
Okay, but we just had a conversation with somebody who said, you know, ants are a tarantula's worst nightmare because they army up and everybody kills that tarantula. So if you had 10 of those little bastards coming at you, I mean, they're horses, but they're, you know, the size of a chicken. They get you.
First might team up on you, kick you in the nuts or something.
Yeah.
True. I think,
Punt the little bastards.
yeah, just you know, kick them around.
Caesar's looking at us like, I didn't see this fucking conversation
yeah,
going.
What kind of question is this shit?
And I might have, you know, I might think back, you know, I didn't answer that right, but I said it. I'm gonna own it.
Hey, we talked to Chuck Liddell. He wanted to fight all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, bring them all on.
Bring them all on.
I think it'd be funner anyway.
Right?
Yeah.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
One superpower. To heal.
Ooh.
Obviously.
Yeah.
My mom.
Yeah.
You got yours.
You're the only other we're at 100 interviews in?
Yeah.
You're the only other.
Physical healing, of course.
That's mine. You're the
Someone has cancer. No more cancer. They have this. No more that. Boom. You know?
He said the same thing. He wanted to heal. Mine was like, I want to be able to teleport. I hate airports. I want to just be able to teleport and get to where I am. He's like, I want to heal people. I'm like, you. Now I just look like a dick.
I know. He's like,
You know what I mean?
You insensitive
Now I
jerk.
just look like an asshole.
He's like, I want to avoid people. We're like, I don't want people to hurt. You're the only other person
out of just convenience. You
You
know, it's like,
Yeah, I know, right? I'm going to go.
Screw you guys. I'm out of here.
Oh, what would be another one? Okay. If you were stranded on a deserted island and you could take with you one movie and one album, what would it be?
I would take the Sopranos, the whole thing. I know you said movie, but does it count?
Box set, we'll give it
the
yes,
box set.
Yeah, damn right. That counts. Absolutely.
And
We ain't
music,
going to argue
wow.
with you on it. What's that?
Music, huh? Music, that's a good one. So much good music. I love, and also because I love so many genres of music. That's kind of a hard one.
It's tough, man.
You can even pick a movie soundtrack.
One album, damn.
I'm trying to give you even a compilation. I know it's hard.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think if I would take the Sopranos soundtrack. I don't think I would.
There was some cool shit.
There were some good ones, but
not.
I don't think I'd. There were some cool songs in there, but not. I wouldn't want to take it on an island.
Music-wise, it would be something from the 80s. I don't know. Is that good enough? Something from the
that's
80s.
fine.
Yeah, something from the 80s that could either be 80s hip-hop, early 80s hip-hop, or even heavy metal, dude.
Yeah?
Really?
Early, 80s heavy metal.
What kind of metal bands are you into?
I mean, like I said, I like all types of music from, you know, R&B, blues, you know, even classical music, rock, heavy metal, reggae. The rock stuff that I you know, what's it called with is like Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, Metallica, you know, stuff like that.
Oh yeah. No, you're right in my wheelhouse. Same.
AC/DC, Megadeth, you know, stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Love ACDC.
Yeah.
One of the most important
Led
questions
Zeppelin,
is,
of course.
oh yeah, right?
Led
Everybody
Zeppelin.
loves Zeppelin. If you don't like at least one song by Led Zeppelin, then
You don't know
it doesn't
music.
matter what you
Yeah,
think.
exactly.
There's something wrong
Then you
with your
don't know music.
with your music meter.
What's wrong with your fucking hearing? You don't like
yeah.
Led Zeppelin?
Yeah.
Favorite curse word?
I don't. Yeah.
It's hard to argue, right?
Somebody says probably hella or shit. It's like no, dude. It's got to be.
No, it's
You can
Yeah.
I say it too much, and my wife is just dude, you're cussing. And I try, but you know,
That's hard. It's just,
it's hard,
sometimes shit happens. You know
I
what
know,
I mean? Like,
I know,
it's
exactly.
Just, it's so quick. If you could have dinner with anybody in the entire world, living or not, so you can go back to like George Washington if you wanted to, or you can anybody to this day who's still alive. Anyone.
Carl Sagan.
Really? Why? I would not have expected Carl Sagan.
He just had a level of understanding and a level of communication. I think he's a great communicator. Like I said, that goes back to the child in me. I've always been into science, you know, the cosmos, you know, and just he's just always been such an intriguing man to listen to, you know, out of many,
Sure,
you know, but I had to pick one. I didn't want to, so I just said Carl Sagan. But there's a lot of people.
Oh, I'm sure.
He would be one. Yeah,
That's fascinating. That's pretty cool. If you had a dream role, like what would be Cesar's dream role to play in a movie or TV?
dream role.
Yeah.
Would probably be a elementary teacher,
Really?
school teacher. Yeah.
Like
elementary school
Dangerous
teacher.
Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer. You ever seen that?
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, it would be younger kids.
Oh, that was high school. You're right.
Yeah, that was high
My
school.
bad.
Younger
Okay, I
kids.
got you.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Either that or a doctor. I've always been into just the field of medicine and
Yeah. Well, Cesar, man, this has been cool as shit. We always like to leave the guests with some last words of encouragement. Maybe it's, everything you've seen and experienced from the gang life and transcending and doing something with yourself beyond that. And also, you lost friends, loved ones to drugs and addiction and other things. If you could lend for the listening or viewing audience, just some words of wisdom.
So many, right? But I'll say this, I'll say the most common thing that comes to my mind, regardless of who you are in life, what you were born with, whether it be money, whether it be whatever. Everyone on this planet has ups and downs. No one's life is perfect. No matter who you are, there's obstacles and there's challenges. A good life isn't a life with no challenges or obstacles. It's a life where you have learned how to manage those obstacles. And also, regardless of what you're going through in life, I've been through a lot. And even to this day, there's been some times, where I'm not doing so well, like I said earlier in this podcast, regardless of where you are in life, you can always make a difference. And as long as you're alive, you can make a difference. The only thing you can't bounce back from is death.
Yeah.
And challenges and all that stuff, those are the most valuable moments in our lives. That is the moments where we grow and where we learn, last thing in life, you win or you learn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't lose.
No
Win or
losses.
you learn.
No
like
loss,
that.
man.
No losses. I like
It's a
that.
perspective, It's a perspective. It's how you look at life,
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey,
No one
bro.
life is perfect, and that's fine. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It gives you something to do. Every day you just make your life the best possible. Life is what you make it. I know I said more than, I said a million
you're
things.
good.
But these are things that I live by, These are things that I live by. You don't know what to expect on any given day. Just be prepared to, it's about managing the situations regardless of what comes to you.
Sure. Yeah.
Thanks, Cesar. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me.